Hey, if you want to learn how to become an independent filmmaker or a filmmaker in general, I've got a book which I wrote with a buddy of mine. It's called Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking. You can actually buy it off of here. I'm going to put the link down here at my website, fatbidin.com. It's only a couple of ringgit, and it's really good because it has many different chapters, the process of filmmaking, and each chapter I interview a Malaysian filmmaker who gives advice and tips of from their experience. So yeah, yay, link is down here. Yay. You're watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club, and I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Shell Abustal.
And as usual, every week we watch a local film and we review it. And this week,
we're watching a film on YouTube called Kifara.
I still like to go to the cinema, but I know this is a YouTube movie, which is fine, but I kind of still miss going to the cinemas. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So this is a Kuman Pictures Challenge kind of film. Yeah, okay. Oh, there. There. Okay.
I'm so shiny.
Happy shiny people. You know that song?
No.
R.E.M. A song by R.E.M.
You're watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club, and I'm Shell Abustal.
No, but we said all that already.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we recorded an intro.
Oh yeah, but then you got to go first. No fun.
I'm a man. A man goes first all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we watched the film.
And so we watched this film, right? It's called
Kifara. I think we got it wrong in the opening.
Maybe. It's Kifara. It's directed by this guy by the name of Alif Yazid.
Yes.
And this was a film that was part of the Kuman Pictures Feature Film Challenge. Kuman Pictures made a call for people to produce feature films on their own accord, on their own budgets, no matter how micro budget it is, and then just send them a private link or post it up on a social media platform and just tag Kuman Pictures, the Kuman Pictures Feature Challenge, and then they would select the winner. And the winner was actually a film by the Azizuddin brothers called Kabus, which we reviewed in the last episode. Right? Go back to the last episode to see episode that we reviewed to see what we think about it. Right? And Kuman Pictures last week released online on YouTube another one of their entries called Kifara. So
we decided to watch it.
We decided to watch it. It's on YouTube. We'll link it, right? So do you wanna explain what the story is all about?
Well, it's a very straightforward story. 6 friends are on Zoom, Microsoft Teams, on an online video conferencing app, and they're basically catching up with each other
during COVID-19.
It's unclear if it's like PKPP already or not, but they're basically just catching up now. They haven't seen each other in so long, and then slowly, one by one, they start to. Well, one fella sort of gets killed
on camera. But they thought it was a prank, right?
And then they thought it was a prank, and then suddenly there's a anonymous person chatting with them in the Teams or in the app lah, and asking them to do weird things and saying like, oh, I know what you did. And before that, they all got like a text message about something that they've all done
many years ago or something like that.
So it isn't revealed what they did until right at the end.
But they did say that it's something. We get the sense that it's something serious because
it's something bad lah.
Yeah, because they kept saying that they don't want to go to jail.
Cannot go to jail. It was so long ago. Who told? We already said we wouldn't tell. And it goes on lah. And then it basically just goes on like that until the end of the film lah. So there's an anonymous person telling them to do things. detrimental things to themselves are like
pull
your
out
eye
your
with
tooth.
the,
If you want to stay alive, pull your tooth out.
yeah, and then it
You
gives
know?
them like 51 seconds to do it.
And then they count down on the chat.
Yeah, and
Right?
then it's like poke your eye out with a fork, stuff like that.
What hammer nails in between your fingernails and your flesh, kind of thing.
And
Very gory lah. It's supposed to be like
so,
gory.
Yeah lah. So one by one they all sort of kena, and then right up to the end.
We can't reveal anything because then it will be a spoiler.
Yeah.
So it has a very much like a I know what you did last summer kind of vibe.
Yep.
Yeah, but this one is like on Zoom or whatever.
Whatever app. It's not Zoom lah. I think it's Microsoft Teams. But
Yeah, it looks
it's
like
a video.
Microsoft
It's a
Teams.
video conferencing app.
I like how you can see the age difference between us because one person would refer to it as an app and another person would refer to it as a software. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So what do we think about the film?
Okay, first of all, I know that it's recorded on Zoom, and we've also recorded shows on Zoom, but I really would have appreciated if the audio was slightly better.
Yeah, the audio was
'Cause
quite
the audio was
bad.
really
It was
bad.
very difficult to hear.
It was very hard to hear, and there were no subtitles on the YouTube link provided.
Yes.
And second of all, because of the way that it's done, it's basically the grid, right? You've got the grid of people, and then at the side you've got the chat, and then they are typing things out on the chat, but it's so small
Yeah.
that
and
we literally had to sit right in front of our TV
To read
what was being said.
on the
And
chat
eventually
too.
he got tired of it, so he sat on the sofa and I sat in front of the TV and I had to like say it out loud.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was made for mobile, and
Maybe.
but even on mobile, it'll be too small to look because
And I would have to squint as well.
you would have to squint to watch it on mobile, right? Because
Yeah.
remember, I am an expert at creating content for mobile, and I've done workshops on it, which you have attended, right? And one of the lessons that I always teach if you're shooting
Lean
something
on
for
things.
mobile, no, lean on things if you don't have a tripod. Yes, yes. But another thing is when you're shooting for mobile, you must make sure that most of your shots are either medium shots or close-up shots. And you have to kind of like limit the wide shots and the
Wide shot should just be establishing.
yeah. So you must have a lot of close-up and medium shots because that's how it works for a mobile screen. Alright? So this one was too small. The chatting text was
Cannot
just too
see.
small. Cannot see.
Cannot see. It was really, really hard to read.
And I guess when it was being shot on the software, right? I don't know what the resolution was. It's quite small.
720.
Because when we were shooting our program using Zoom, we had backup HD cameras to shoot ourselves, right? And we didn't rely on the computer camera itself, the webcam itself.
Well, but even now, while I'm doing swapping notes, I have a show now called Swapping Notes, which also shoots on these video conferencing apps. We still try to set the resolution slightly higher or export it slightly higher so that it looks slightly better lah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's only so much you can do, and at the end you only have like 720p, but maybe it would have been
720p
better.
is good enough.
Maybe it would have been better if each one individually also had shot their screens, because right now it's just one big screen with the 6 grids, but you don't get any cutaways also of like a single shot or whatever, which I guess is because of the style and the feel that they wanna create, right? They want it to feel like you're watching the.
Now our son is there in the playpen, and there
You're
was
watching-
a stud, and he's now just lying down.
No, he's crying.
Okay.
So you want to make it feel like you're watching the video conferencing software / app lah, but it's different when you're actually watching the screen and when you're watching like a film with the screen. And because the film is like an hour and a half long, even if you were in a meeting that was an hour and a half long also, I don't think you're going to be solely focusing on that meeting the whole time lah. So it was a bit challenging in that sense.
Yeah. I would have been okay with the low resolution of the characters, but the text, that one no go lah.
Then the audio, the audio really kind of.
The text and the audio was a bit of a no go lah. Cannot lah, because we rely so much on that for us to understand the story.
Yeah. So because of these things, it just amplified the sort of ineffectiveness of the characters as well. So they're all a group of friends, and then each character has like their own thing. Like one of the Zoom grids or whatever is a couple that have been living together, now about to get married, and then another one is just like this like very cutesy tudong girl, and then another one is like their token Cina girl but speaks Malay, and then another Fleur is like seems to like always be drunk, kind of
Party dude lah.
boy.
It's like
And then
Michelangelo.
got another
It's a
Fleur
party
is
dude.
Taubat married already, now got one child.
Going to have a child.
No, got child already.
Going
Baru
to have a
ada
baby.
anak, right?
Oh, something like that. I thought it was like he was
And
going to
then
have a baby.
well, we wouldn't know because we couldn't hear properly.
Yeah.
And then one is like an Ustad Alim type character. So you've got all these different kind of characters which you can see that they're trying to showcase different personalities. But most of it was just people talking over each other. And then as the movie gets like more and more intense and more thrilling, I guess, they start to get a bit dumb. Because they're basically all just saying like, you have to do it, kau kena buat je. Asalkan kau tak mati, you know, sakit je tapi tak mati.
So there's this,
What?
there's a stranger who is threatening them, saying that he knows what they did, right? And now he's killed one person, and then he's going one by one, telling each of them to do something violent to themselves to avoid being killed, right? First person does it by pulling out a tooth. Seems quite
And
easy.
they're all encouraging her to
and
do
each
it.
other, they're all like, first they're like so convinced that it's a prank, but yet when they're supposed to pull out a tooth, they're like so convinced it's not a prank.
Yeah, and they're just like, do it,
Do it, man. It's okay. We are here
As
for
long
you.
as you don't die.
Yeah, and I found it a little bit irrational lah, and
Yeah.
absurd lah. You know.
Yeah, they tried to
Yeah.
put in some rationality at the beginning when they were like, oh, maybe we should call the police. Oh, maybe we should. But then they never actually do anything like rational. They don't actually. And at one point, the person who's typing in the chat says, if any of you call the police or leave, bad things will happen. But I mean, already on the internet, the threats are so
Common.
disconnected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, common and also disconnected. So like, if you were really in like this video thing or whatever, but I guess it's also because they supposedly witnessed their friend get slashed.
But they didn't even know if it was real or not.
So
they
it's
were
like,
questioning, main ni, prank ni.
so maybe the thing to have done was to get offline and then
Yeah. Just
Find
get
out.
off the internet. Get off the software.
but then they carry on to
Yeah, they carry
For
on.
an hour and
And
a
then the
half.
dialogue becomes a little bit dumb lah.
repetitive also. It's just,
Repetitive and dumb.
you know, the same thing over and over again, and it gets a bit predictable. I guess the intrigue was kind of there. You did want to know who this person was and why
Was
it was
it?
like that. But the build up, the ending of it wasn't really, I don't know, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me also.
Yeah, and all their actions and motivation for their actions and all that were, to me, a little bit nonsensical too lah.
Yeah, it was quite,
Yeah.
God
And
bless you.
it kind of makes me want to compare this film with Gavin Yap's film during the MCO, the pandemic, during the lockdown. What was his film called? COVID Raya. COVID Raya or Raya
Which was also
COVID or
shot
something
like
that.
this lah.
Yeah, on Zoom, on Zoom or Microsoft Teams and all that.
Same style lah.
Same style. But you see, when it's the same style, all you see are the characters talking on this software, right? This conversational software, a video conferencing app software. And you only see them, and you don't see a lot of action. The dialogue and these characters need to really be engaging for the audience to want to stay tuned to the story and to follow the development. And Gavin Yap's film, from the most parts, the characters are quite engaging, and you want to know what happens to them, and their acting is very, it appeals to your eyes. You want to watch, you want to listen to them talk, you want to listen to their dialogue and all that. But this Kifara, right? Yeah, Kifara, doesn't have that appeal. It could not hold my attention really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another film to sort of compare it to is also Searching, which was what's his name? That Chinese guy, John Cho and Deborah Messing. So it's a film that we watched where John Cho's teenage daughter goes missing.
Yep, and everything is on CCTV.
Yeah, it's all screens. So he logs into her computer to check her chats, check her social media, and there's text, people typing out text and everything, but it's all very clear, and they use different mediums of surveillance and screens to sort of bring out different different parts of the story lah. So that was really, really engaging. I thought it was really well done.
Yes.
And it was very interesting to watch also. But this one, compared to Gavin is also a more seasoned director compared to this Alif Yazid. I think lah, I'm not really sure because I don't really know a lot about him. But you can see that the actors that Gavin got versus the actors in here are also slightly more seasoned and experienced lah. So I guess this film was a good attempt at it.
Yeah.
But it still needs a little bit more work lah.
Because I could see how interesting it could have been for the filmmakers and the actors to do it, because it's one take.
Yeah.
It looks like it was one take on the software.
Yeah.
Right? It's one take, and you can see like one character appears in one webcam and in the other. It must have taken a lot of interesting planning and for the actors to sustain 1.5 hours in a single take like that, plus the chat and the text coming up and all that. It would have been quite intellectually challenging and interesting to do, right? Unfortunately, to me, it wasn't executed very well. Yeah.
So good story concept. Pretty good story also actually. Well, could have used a little bit more work, and just could have also been better executed.
But then again, right, the Kuman Pictures feature film challenge is supposed to be encouraging amateurs, indies, people with no resources, because that was the spirit of the competition. It's like you don't need a big production, you don't need a budget, you just go shoot something with whatever you have.
Yeah.
And they kind of did that. So to me, it kind of stayed to the spirit lah. But they could have, they could have like sat down, think things through a little bit more, and certain things could have been enhanced, like the tech stuff and the audio stuff lah. Could have been done even without a budget and without like lots of resources, right? Attend one of my workshops and I can tell you.
I think you just need to you need to consider all sides of it and look at all sides of it as well, and also consider if you were not personally invested in this film, would you sit down and watch it for an hour and a half? Yeah. So, but yeah, good try. I can see why Kuman would put it up on the YouTube channel, because like we said, the concept is very interesting and it's very thrilling, which is true to the Kuman Pictures spirit of horror thriller.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But there's a big difference from this film
and the one that won.
And not only the one that won, but the films that Kuman are actually putting in money and releasing in the cinemas lah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, would you tell people to go and watch it?
Yeah.
Why not, right?
I think
Let's go watch it for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Go watch it for something different, and if you're still not confident enough with the spike in COVID-19 cases, you don't want to go to the cinemas, this is something that you can do at home. Right? Watch it online.
Yeah, and I think in general it's still different from your typical mainstream film. So whether it's good or bad, it's always good to watch new stuff coming out from local filmmakers.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would prefer that they come out with more good stuff, but this is it's a good starting point for kicking off the Malaysian thriller genre in sort of like a better way lah. It's not raw, but it's also not a bad start lah.
Raw's good. Watch
Raw's
our
really
review
good.
of Raw, and then watch Raw.
Raw's on movie now, so
Yeah.
you can watch Raw on movie now, also at home.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Tell us what you think. If you've watched it, let us know what you think about the film.
Yes.
Right? You might not agree with us, or you might think it's great, then let us know. Right? Okay. So thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you don't like it. Subscribe to us. Follow us on all our social media platforms. It's @FatBidin, or go to fatbidin.com to get everything. You've been watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club. I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Syah Bustaman.
Alright.
And you are? Akilis Bustaman Azli.
Photobomb.
Say bye-bye.
Video bomber.
Say bye-bye.